feeling. No being, it's cold winter, so big. Alone headed for no ether. I'm caged in, locked up with no walls. My head heavy, can make thoughts with no pause. Blunt sharp and pierce through the...
What's up, guys? It's your boy, at Remzashudo, back again with yet another, I know I say this every time, but we got a very special guest, boys and girls. Kyron is in the building.
What's poppin'? What's
and
good,
Justice
everybody?
is here as
Yes,
well.
Sir. Yes, sir. Kyron's in the building. You already know.
How are
I
you?
got Justice with me. You know.
What's up, Kyron? How are you, bro?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. I'm a little
Flexing
relaxed.
subtly with the Rick on.
You know, this is my yesterday's drip, but we won't get into that. It's my yesterday's drip, but we won't get into that for sure.
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good, relaxing, bro. I'm just trying to get through this last semester, really. Like, that's about it.
Are you about to have a spring break or midterms?
LaSalle College doesn't have a spring break, but like
Wow.
technically this is what we have right now. Like, they give us like a 2 days off, which is the Thursday and the Friday, and then that's like a study break. So yeah.
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
Wow.
They call it literally on the calendar. It says study break.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't give you
because your ass is supposed to study for like
Exactly.
8 hours a day during those
Yeah.
2 days.
basically.
And in your semester's going well?
Yeah,
so
it's
far?
going well so
Last
far.
semester is that?
Yeah, this is my last semester.
Wow.
It's way more relaxed now because I have like only 4 classes to do. One of them's gym and one of them's internship. So
Wow.
the rest of
You're
it
just looking forward to graduation.
exactly.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's your plan right after?
I'm supposed to be well. They set you up for a 3-week internship where
Okay.
wherever you want, like as long as you're able to close it off. So right now I'm in the talks with doing something with Fernando. It's nothing like super
Okay.
close ended yet, but like I don't want to get
In
into
California?
it. In California, yeah. So we might do something out there. I just have to like book my flight and then confirm it with my teacher. And
Wow.
then see what she says about it and everything. I just have to send him the contract, and then we'll see how it goes.
And
Yeah.
basically the school can accept it because he's an incorporated company.
Exactly.
Everything's all good.
Exactly. It doesn't
And-
even have to be an incorporated company.
Really?
Yeah, it could be like it just can't be a retail store experience. Like I have to be doing something outside of retail.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that can be the only limitations.
Yeah.
Is that really it? Like,
Yeah,
as long
that's
as you're not
really it.
working at a retail store.
Yeah, and it has to be fashion related, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Like I can't be selling like toasters out of my trunk, you know. That's about
Wow.
it.
And Justice, you don't go to LaSalle. No,
Concordia.
you go to Concordia.
Yeah.
What are you studying in right now?
Philosophy.
Wow.
Very intellectual.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And are you enjoying it?
It's interesting.
How many semesters you got left?
Well, I just started, like, it's my first semester. So
Okay, yeah. You
I-
just
I
who
don't
knows
know.
how many
I don't think
semesters
I don't
basically.
know.
And then,
Wow. So Kyron, you're from Philadelphia, right?
yes, I was
So,
born in Philadelphia.
You were born in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Do you remember at what age you left, or were you like kind of super young?
It was
or-
around 2 years old. From
Okay,
what my
okay,
mom
okay.
tells me, but I was bouncing around between New York, Philadelphia, and Montreal, like my whole like, childhood.
Okay.
And then eventually, my mom was like, "It makes no sense for us to be in the States because, like, for education and everything,
Mhm.
and also
Healthcare.
and healthcare, and her parents being from Canada, like, it makes more sense for her to just like keep me here, you know."
Mhm.
So we ended up staying here. I was basically raised here, and then I just went to see my dad whenever I wanted, like in the summer mainly, for like a month or two.
And just instinctively, when somebody asks you where you're from, you
Yeah.
say Montreal.
I say, I say Philadelphia.
You say Philadelphia.
Yeah, I
Oh,
say
that's
Philadelphia,
interesting.
yeah.
See how because I kind of have the same thing. I left France super
Yeah.
young,
Uh-huh.
but again, whenever somebody asks me initially where I'm from,
Mhm.
my gut reaction is to say, "Well, I live most of my life in Canada, but I'm from France."
Yeah,
you know,
It's true.
like it's
Yeah,
kind of
I'll
like
give
I
them
kinda,
a little breakdown actually.
because
yeah.
it's like I don't want to fake the funk either. You
Yeah.
know, like it's not like I know like
it's true.
it's not like I've been there recently, like actually like a citizen. You know.
I find instinctively for me, like I'll actually tell a person that I'm from Philly if I'm having a conversation with a person from Montreal, and then if I'm in the States, I'll tell
Mhm.
them I'm from Montreal.
Yeah.
But like if it comes down to it, I'll give them the full breakdown. Like I used to live in Philly, and
Yeah.
like I
No, but
moved around.
I'm interested in also the instinctively because like
Yeah.
it shows how you identify in a way
For
to
sure.
the Philadelphia roots, right?
Mhm.
Because are both your parents from Philadelphia?
My mom was born here, I believe.
Oh,
but
okay,
like
okay.
her parents grew up in Belize, so she was out in Belize also
Wow.
heavily. And my dad was born in Trinidad, so yeah,
Okay, and they met in Philadelphia.
they met in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
At
Okay.
a party, those wild cats. That's where I get it from.
Yeah. Eh?
Yeah.
And okay, so you went to Philadelphia. You said you lived in New York as well.
Yeah.
And Montreal.
Yeah.
And how do you? Obviously, well, when's the last time you went to Philly? More or less, so we can like
The last
get an
time
idea.
I was in Philly was probably a year and a half or 2 years.
Okay. So you've been like as a grown adult. Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you compare all three fashion scenes? Like, because New York is obviously a mecca, but Montreal also has its own style, I find.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, I'm sure, has its own. So
Sure.
how would you like differentiate all three of them?
I would say for Philadelphia, like starting with Philadelphia, it's more like a uniform based city. Like a lot of people just have like certain garments that they like to go to. Like when I was growing up in Philly, it kind of had like different areas of things that you kind of like had to have in your wardrobe. So like it started off with me when I was younger. It was like, oh, like you have to have like a pack of 3 polo white t-shirts. You have to have that, like literally like the crispiest white t-shirt from Ralph Lauren, and then like your pants were either like G-Star or like
G-Star.
yeah. Like G-Star was one of them, or
Was
like
Diesel big?
Diesel was kind of big too, yeah. And then sneakers were like Jordans or any type of Nike. Any of the new releases, like definitely like they were down. And then it kind of graduated to like designer shoes, which was like red bottoms and stuff like that too, which is like kind of uniform out there. But then also for like the younger guys in Philly, it was more like Aeropostale, like Hollister, like,
Okay.
very like preppy almost.
Wow.
But they like really like uniform type outfits, like stuff that you could wear like every day out of the week, like on a repeat.
Yeah. Multiple wears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then out in Montreal, I would say like it doesn't really have like a super big stance right now. I feel like it's pretty diverse. It's kind of like New York. That's what I find. Like I find New York and Montreal are pretty diverse when it comes to style and fashion. So
do you find Montreal plays it safe a little bit compared to like Paris and London?
Yeah, 100%.
Let's not even like compare it to Asia because they go
Yeah,
wild.
they go
like they
off.
they
They
know
go
how to get a
off.
fit off, bro. Like
For sure.
next level.
But then I feel like that also plays into what goes on in the city. You know what I mean? Like we don't have a fashion week anymore. Like we only have like 2 days in the summer.
Did we have a fashion week?
We used to.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. For real? Did you ever go?
I went, but
No.
it was never like. Well, I went because it used to be like closest in Catherine Street.
Yeah.
Like outside, you could see like runways and stuff.
Word?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
shows. Yeah, it was cool, but it was like, maybe I wasn't informed enough at the time because there might have been some sick stuff, but there was nothing that I was like caught my eye at the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's not there anymore, it kind of says something. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure,
that's
you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and they kind of shifted over like all the people that were interested in fashion in Montreal. Like, if you really want to go for that, you could go to Toronto and like actually get the full like Canadian experience of what a fashion week is. But yeah, I kind of find New York and Montreal to be very similar, but like Montreal just needs to kind of find its identity. I feel like that's the main thing that we need to focus on. Is just like culturally, we have to like identify ourselves in music and fashion.
Okay, so
but that's just,
you
like,
link music?
Yeah, for sure. Like, because it's all kind of one bubble. Like, except for art, like when it comes to modern art, I feel like we definitely have a lot of people that have come out of the woodworks and done their own thing. Like, Chloe Wise is a really good artist that I know of out here, and a lot of other artists too. But
so
yeah.
you link fashion to art?
Fashion to
but-
art and music, yeah.
Yeah, and music.
And music, yeah.
But what about sports in Montreal? Because I feel it's like
True.
because hockey players, they don't really dress well.
Yeah.
Like they're not known to dress well,
Yeah.
and we're a hockey town.
That's true.
So I feel like because
Don't they
in
just
some
wear
cities,
suits?
well, yeah, kind of, but
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Or they
You
have
know,
a flow and they like slick it back and
Yeah.
put a baseball cap type thing, like. But I feel like that's just also upbringing too, like because like I feel like when you go to basketball upbringing, it would be like your kind of influences are like AI and stuff like that too. So you already have like a sense of like what fashion is. When I know a lot of like my friends that are interested in hockey, their idols aren't necessarily fashion icons. They just
Yeah.
wear a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and a flow.
yeah, it's less integrated into the
Exactly.
sport than the NBA
Exactly.
or even the MLB.
Yeah.
But the
that's
NBA
true.
is wild because the draft, you get like, have you ever seen some wild NBA suits?
Yeah.
Like
I have.
anybody that's listening, Google Jalen Rose draft suit.
Okay.
Wild. I'm gonna show
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
that.
show me that. Yeah, I'm definitely down to see that for sure. That's
Yeah.
one thing I wish I had more time for is sports, because I feel like I would definitely get into it, but like I just never really have the time. I wish I did though.
Bro, it's a red pinstripe. There are so many bad draft suits, bro. It's legendary. But yeah, like it's a whole like fashion show nowadays.
Yeah.
Like they get a whole.
I love those vintage hats that they used to have for the drafts, bro.
Mm.
Like those script hats. I used to like fan
Oh
over
yeah,
those all the time.
yeah.
All the time.
What team would you buy? Because you're not a specific.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'm not a specific
76.
anywhere. Yeah, I could get.
Would
a
you get the
76er.
Sixers?
I'd get a Sixers one just cause, but like not necessarily. Like I have an Eagles one actually.
Okay,
I have an
yeah.
Eagles one of that. Yeah,
Oh,
in
like
my closet.
a retro Eagles hat.
Yeah,
That's
retro
pretty
Eagles with
sick.
the script. Yeah, it's like from the '90s. It's insane. I bought it off of an old man's head, literally
That-
in a grocery store. Yeah, this is a funny story. Yeah, that's true. We were in this Sobeys
in a grocery store.
in a grocery store, literally. And this is like when I was super into vintage clothing. I was in Toronto. There's this grocery store called Sobeys, and we're just walking around. We're looking for something in an aisle, and then there's these old couple, and I was walking past, and I seen this like it was like black and green hat. I was like, and I was obsessing with these vintage hats at the time. So I was like, oh, maybe it's a vintage hat. So I look and I peek around, and it's this vintage Eagles script hat, and I forget it was sports specialties or something like that. There's a specific brand for these vintage
Kind
hats.
of like starter.
Exactly,
Or something else, yeah.
exactly, something like that. So then I seen it. I was like, nah, this is like a gem. Like I need this in my life right now. So I asked him. I was like, yo, like would you sell the hat to me? He's like, it's my favorite hat. I'm not gonna let go of it. And then the wife, like this old lady, like slaps him on the shoulder and is like, honey, give him the hat. You have 1,000,000 hats.
Oh wow!
So
she came in clutch.
yeah, so he went and gave me the hat, and I was like, no, I'm trying to give you money for it, like take it. And he's like, no, she's not gonna stop talking about it if
He wouldn't hear the end of it.
Exactly. So he ended up giving me the hat, so I just went home and
sick.
restored it, and yeah,
Goes to show if you don't try in life. man,
exactly. You gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kyron, most people would know you from YouTube,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how we initially met. Also, but we've known each other for years now.
Yeah.
But initially, how I saw you was, I was looking to buy like a Bape jacket.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing my research,
Yeah.
and the first video you used to find, and it's probably still the case, but when you YouTube a Bape camo jacket, you see Kyron's video. Yeah. And so I watched a few videos, and I was like, yo, I think he's from Montreal. Like you mentioned it or something, and I was like, yo, I have to message him. Like the new Supreme drop just happened, and I had a whole bunch of stuff. So like, yo, dog, if you're ever down, like we should shoot a video.
Yeah, you had emailed me, and
Yeah.
I almost like at that time I was so like overwhelmed with like a lot of the brand deals that I was doing at the time. I was not checking my emails at all, and then one day I like randomly checked it, and I was like, oh, like this is dope. Like I've never like fully made like an encounter, like a genuine encounter through an email, like aside from like brand deals and stuff. So I was like, you know what, like let me take the time out. Like he seems like a cool dude. Like why not do it? And then like we ended up becoming like best of friends from that. So like
That's sick.
that's like one of the best things I ever had.
Wow.
For sure.
And I want to get right into your recent videos.
Okay.
Because you just uploaded one a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I feel like 2 days ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was remind me. I'm blanking. Which one was that? Because the one before you teased a new project.
New project.
Yeah, at the end of your second to last video.
New project.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Was it the thing with dolphin cakes? Are you talking about?
I don't know. Is it?
Well, I know that with dolphin cakes we have like I
You're
don't know
shooting
if
a
it was
video.
Yeah, we're shooting a video with him. Like it's kind of like a sneakers shopping type of thing.
Oh,
that
okay,
he's working
okay.
on. So like that's kind of what we're doing. But that's all I really remember that I teased in that video. Aside from the podcast, that's what I teased. Also, I teased that too. Yeah, I teased the podcast on my recent vlog, which was like 6 days ago.
Yeah, and you uploaded it yesterday.
Yeah,
the
okay,
archive
so it was
photo
yesterday,
shoot.
yeah.
Yeah. How was that experience?
That was
didn't see
that
that
was an
video.
interesting experience because it was kind of like a collective of minds that I never would thought I would see in a room. For me in Canada, there's only like a couple popping cities, which is like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then I feel like for Ontario, Ottawa's kind of like swept under the rug because every time I've went, it's only been like Parliament buildings and like super boring. And every time I go, I never have a good time in Ottawa. So
it's way smaller than the three other cities you mentioned.
Exactly. So then a lot of the kids from Ottawa are like super cultured, and I didn't really know that. And a lot of them would message me and be like, yo, like let's hang out, let's shoot. And everyone I've ever met from Ottawa that's come into the city to like try and do something
Mhm.
and like make something of themselves have always been the most genuine, nice people I've ever met in my life. So like this one guy, he was trying to be a stylist. His name is Cassius.
Mhm.
He hit me up and he was like, "Oh, like I wanna, like I'm an up and coming stylist. I want to like have you as a model in my shoot. Like
Mhm.
it would be paid. It's gonna be using Marco Del Papa and Raf's archive from
Yeah.
Nostalgia."
Mhm.
I was like, "Okay, those clothes are fire, so like might as well. Like I'm down. I've been trying to shoot in the clothes."
Okay, so you
regardless."
didn't connect the two. It was already
Yeah.
like were you like one of the not the late additions, but like they just
I was.
you
yeah.
were the model that they picked basically.
Literally.
It wasn't like your project
No.
outside of that before.
Not at all.
Wow, that's so
Yeah,
interesting.
and then when I went to the shoot, the person that was shooting the pictures and the videos was Wasim, which is a really well-known videographer and
Mhm.
photographer from
Amazing.
Ottawa.
He's so good.
He's honestly like some of his photography is like something that has actually like made an impact on me. Like there's not
Would you
many.
say it inspired you?
Yeah, it definitely inspires me for sure. Like, cause like I don't feel like everyone that has an Instagram puts enough time and dedication into like like nitpicking certain pictures. Like
Mhm.
him, he'll like take the time out to like do like a month worth of just like curating his Instagram. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
like his image of the pictures that he selects out of the Polaroids or whatever he uses, or like taking the time out to edit certain VHS footage is just like so time savvy. It's insane.
He
Like,
shoots on everything.
he shoots on
basically.
everything. Like there's no
Wow.
limitations for him.
What's his name?
Wasim. You can show him in
Yeah,
Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm
Actually,
trying to see that.
sure.
Do you know how long he's been shooting?
I don't know exactly, but like I know after he shot Peep is when he got really like inspired to like keep on going and go strong with it, because he was really tight with Night Lavelle from early stages, and then now it's WSSM. No, there's
Yeah.
no A. Yeah, there you go.
Alright.
First one.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, so what I was saying is that he got super tight with Night Lavelle like from early on, and then that kind of built a relationship where they were able to go on tour, and he was going on tour with him, documenting every single tour. Like he has that where he's working on the
Yeah,
the
I've
Good
seen
Lavelle-
that actually.
Good Night Lavelle release and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And then he's just gotten so lucky with going to like these festivals or like certain venues where like he'll get these crazy shots, like super intimate, like a picture of Drake's face, like maybe like inches away. You know what I mean? Like, and people don't really get to see an artist in that light, and that's what I kind of like.
Like the
value.
perspective. He
Exactly,
gives.
the
Wow.
perspective that he gives, like I really like. It's gritty too, you know. It's not like editorial status, like, which I really like.
Has he done any like expositions or anything like?
I'm not too sure actually, but I would really.
It'd be sick.
Yeah, I would really enjoy. Like,
Because I love when
enjoy
people
I hear.
take things outside of Instagram and like
Mhm.
bring it to life.
Yeah,
Because there's like it's so cool to go at an art exhibition.
fact.
That's some of the things, like part of the things that I love about Soho is that you could like 1 second you're going into Rick, and the next you're going into like
The gallery.
an art gallery, and
Yeah.
then you're going to just a museum. Like it's
There's no limitations when you're in New York.
No.
That's a fact for sure.
New
I feel
York.
like he should definitely come with a couple other artists that are like under his like kind of umbrella that like I feel like are really noteworthy as photographers and videographers. Like there's another one, her name is Bree, and I think I don't even know what her name is on Instagram, but yeah, she's like insane too. She has
I
like
know
a
what you're
similar.
talking about.
She has a similar
aesthetic.
yeah, similar
like-
aesthetic, but like more like bondage-y, I
Is
guess
it
you could
Dark
say that.
Angel or
Like,
something like
yeah,
that?
dark. Okay, yeah, it is
Dark
Dark
Angel,
Angel.
something like that.
Dark Angel.
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to write with one.
Her
hand.
photos are cool as hell.
Dark Angel. I can't find it.
Yeah. I can't
It's spelled
find it either.
weird. There's like a section.
Let me type in a
that.
D in my following and see if
That's a dangerous game
Oh, yeah.
you're playing, my friend.
okay, so D6RK Angel.
The A is a 6.
Yeah.
One of those people.
That's it. Yeah.
Brianna McKenzie.
Yeah, Brianna McKenzie. Shout out to you. You're doing an amazing job.
She's She's based in
She's
Ottawa
from,
as well?
no, she's from Montreal,
Oh
actually,
wow,
yeah.
sick.
But she has more of like I don't even know how to describe it. Like more burlesque, bondage, super sexual, but like
I think burlesque is yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we would have to ask her how she would define.
Yeah, I don't know how she would define it, but like this is just me on an outside perspective.
Yeah. It's your interpretation of her work.
Yeah. but it's super like,
I'd say it's raw.
yeah, it's very raw but it's very beautiful at the same time. Like,
For real, them
yeah.
shit's
It's
just
infinite.
crazy photos.
Yeah.
Those are all film?
These are all Polaroid.
Polaroid?
Yeah,
Shit.
and then I find he has Wasim has a mix of Polaroid and then also a bunch of other mediums that he uses too.
Oh, she has an amazing Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because people are listening, it's at Dark Angel, but the A is a 6, the
Yeah.
first one.
And then Wasim is WSSM6, I believe.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
that?
just confirmed, WSS. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They
There
both
you
have
go.
a 6.
Yeah, they both
Yeah.
got a 6, so that's
6.
Yeah. Drizzy.
So, how do you feel about YouTube these days? Because you're like an insider, you're a content creator.
Yeah.
You have a very successful channel.
Thank you.
It's been growing very well recently.
Thank you.
And like, where do you see it going in the next? No timetable, but just in the future. Where you see? How do you see yourself growing it?
For me, like, I feel like the one thing that has always been limiting my channel as far as like pushing out as much content as I wanted to was school. Like, is literally the one thing that takes the most time out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that same problem will transfer over to me having an actual career in the next couple of months, because after I do this internship, it's kind of like I'm jumping off the deep end. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So it's kind of like just
A lot of
me,
big
like,
decisions.
a lot
coming
of
up.
big decisions, exactly. And then that's after May. Like, when June hits, it's summertime, and I just have to like grind out, find something that I'm passionate about, and then I actually have to make something of myself.
Are you gonna take the summer off to relax? Because after like finishing school,
Yeah,
you know?
I would like to do that for sure. But then also I need bread to like do what I really want to do.
For sure.
And then also I would have, oh yeah, that is something. Okay, I remember the project that you're talking about. Okay, yeah. So in November is what I want to like gear to put out this project that I've been working on. I don't have a lot of details on it yet, just because I don't want to like spook anyone out or anything. But like, I've been working on just a whole lot of ideas and stuff like over this whole 4 years of me being at school. So I want to put something out of the lines of this project in November for sure. So yeah.
So you're playing it close to the chest.
Yeah.
In November is when we're going to get more information.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah, for sure.
So everybody stay tuned to
Yeah.
the Instagram,
Exactly.
the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Did you look at the comments? I'm always curious
No.
if actual like content creators take the time.
Honestly,
'Cause-
for me, it depends. Like at one, like there's certain points in life where like okay, yeah, that was the cutoff time for the camera. But yeah, there's certain points in my life where I'm like looking at the comments and it does get to you sometimes. Like sometimes like people are
Really?
like. Sometimes people are vulgar, bro. Like, or just like
But-
talking out of line, or like saying stuff that like you're like you feel like a person with sense wouldn't even need to say. like why would you even say that type of thing?
But
But
how-
at the same time, like, it's a person typing on a keyboard, taking the time out of their day to watch your video. So I get it. You know what I mean?
And also, I feel like you have to understand also that like they're trying to elicit a reaction out of you.
Exactly.
And the most probable way to get a reaction out of you is by being as wild as they can. So, and again, like you said, they're the ones who took the time to watch the video and like write a comment out. And I think it's been proven in studies that like if somebody is gonna take the time to like sit down and write something, it's more likely to be negative than positive.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna sit down and write a letter to say that your mayor is doing a good job, but if he's fucking up, you're gonna sit down and be like, yo. No, but it's true. Like, it's a good,
true.
like when you think
It's
about it,
like
like
the same thing like on Instagram. Like, you're not gonna put up, oh wow, I my dog just died, like, or I got hit by or some people would do that, like that they got hit by a bus or something. But like, I mean, like, you're not
get
gonna
that check, bro. If I get hit by a car,
you're not gonna be putting your worst moments out to the public for them to see and criticize. But some people do that and they master it. Like some people that vlog every day or something like that. I don't personally have the heart to do that or like the mindset to do that.
vlogging every day is
Vlogging
tough,
every day
man.
is tough. Like, literally
But
tough.
I feel
Even
like-
5 days out of a week is tough. Like, that's crazy.
I think when anybody that vlogs more than once a week is really impressive.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like, yes, we all think our lives are captivating and awesome, but the fact of the matter is that our society is made in a way that like you're put into a routine. You have to do the same thing most of the time, or else you're not gonna be able to pay your bills. You're not gonna be able to do the things you do want to do.
Yeah.
So even if you like, let's say your thing is going out, like you're probably always gonna go out at the same day of the week at the same place.
Yep.
So it's like, it's crazy how much life can become a routine, you know?
So true.
But I feel it's really important to try to break it. But at the same time, the whole system is made, like, you can't stop, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many people are forced to live paycheck to paycheck to paycheck?
It's a broken cycle, honestly.
It's pretty heartbreaking.
Kind of sucks, yeah.
But you actually you're not really into that because you have multiple endeavors that you have, because you're not only are you engaging your creative side in multiple ways, you've done multiple clothing collaborations, you have your YouTube, you're a photographer, like you have a lot of stuff going on. And at the same time, that's what people need to realize when they watch your videos, is that you're not just a YouTuber, as in like, yeah, he takes the time to do those videos and he gets his ass to school. Like, it's not like he's just living a good life, never going to school. Like, I just want to film some fashion stuff. He's doing this. Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're doing this because you love it and because you want it to grow and you want to show your passion, basically. But that takes work. Yeah,
it takes hard work and dedication, because like that's the thing a lot of people don't realize, is that most of my friends, whoever they may be, that want to start a YouTube channel, they'll approach me and be like, oh, like I would like advice and stuff like that. And I always tell them, like, don't get into this expecting to get fame, or like you see the end goal. Because like me, when I started YouTube, it was literally just because I was bored in my room and I had a camera and I had a topic on my mind. I was like, let me film this and put it on YouTube. Because
what was your first video you uploaded?
First video, I think it was, I dropped 2 of them on the same day. Whoa. I had one pickups video of just a bunch of stuff that I had at the time, which was a bunch of weird stuff. Like I remember, like I found a VHS belly tape at a in my mom's like basement or something. I was like, yo, this is fire, like, because that's my favorite movie.
It's sick.
Yeah, it is sick. And then I put that video out, which is the pickups, and then I also put out like a rant on Obey or some shit like that.
Really?
Yeah. And
you don't like Shepard Perry? Or?
No, I love Shepard. That's the thing. I love his work and everything because I come from a graffiti background. That's the thing. So me as like a somewhat purist, or not even, because like he kind of sold out in a way too, right? So
if everybody knows about you,
I was like, you know what? I come from a graffiti background, and I like Obey for what Obey represents, not per se that I'm wearing Obey because I like Tumblr clothing and like and like fucking the hundreds and shit like that, you know what I mean? So like that's not where I came from as an upbringing. Like I would wear that because I like it, but then also I like wearing clothing that has a meaning behind it. That's kind of what the topic of that video was.
Clothing that has a meaning behind it.
Yeah.
In one of your recent videos, you said top 10 streetwear brands.
It was
but
top 10 fashion. It was top 10. Basically, my idea behind that was like where fashion is going is everyone's grabbing streetwear elements and putting it into like literally runway Parisian fashion shows. You know what I mean? So my idea behind that was to like show like, listen, this is what all of these high-end brands are grabbing from what we've been indulging in for the past 5-10 years, you know what I mean? So I wanted to see like what elements they were trying to highlight that we've been putting on for so long. And then I also wanted to see, like, it was also a mix of what I found interesting and then also what other people found interesting, because I put it on my story to ask people like which shows they wanted me to talk about that had like this direct streetwear influence within a house umbrella, like a big fashion house umbrella.
And overall, how do you feel about the whole the first collection with Virgil and Louis?
I like it way more than the second collection.
Okay.
I like the idea that he did.
So first is Wizard of Oz, second is Michael Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The first, and then the Michael Jackson one. I find it was great that he had the inspiration from Michael Jackson and everything, but I don't find that collection as in-depth as his first one. But I feel like he had the ideas brewing for so long for his first one that he kind of had to like lay it all down on the paper. So.
And first impressions are important.
Exactly.
Very important.
Yeah, and for his first one, like definitely he made a lasting impression in my opinion.
But that being said, would you spend your money on any piece?
Honestly,
because I feel like that's also a thing that people need. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's the thing. Like people need to understand that it's one thing to like something, but you don't have to like actually put your money in it. So, is there anything in there that you would put your money into
from the first collection? Because a freak for yellow. Like yellow's my favorite color.
Yellow gang.
It's exactly yellow gang to death. There's this hard Louis trunk crossbody bag, but it kind of looked like a cylinder. They had that one, and then they also had like a trunk, like a mini trunk that's like
the
a
soft
square.
trunk.
It was
With the hard edges.
Yeah, exactly, with the hard edges. And
would
then
you get it in white or the brown?
It was all yellow though.
All yellow.
They had a yellow one in the first collection.
I've never seen
but
that.
They never put it into production. That's my problem.
Oh, it was a runway piece.
It was a runway piece, and I thought it was going to production. Both of them, I thought they were going into production.
And if it came to production, would
I
literally
went to Louis and I asked him. I was like, just let me know the prices so I could kind of brace myself, type thing. Because like my rep at Louis, like, looks out for me whenever.
Casually said my rep.
Yeah,
at
Louis.
Louis. You heard that, Justice, right? I heard that. Man said my rep at Louis like it's nothing.
She looks out. She looks out for the boy. Even though I haven't even bought that many things, everything I bought from Louis.
I don't have a rep, and I spend money at Louis,
right,
but
exactly.
hey, it is what it is. How do you feel about the Virgil Louis stuff, Justice?
Yeah,
it's nice. Which collection? Like you said, the second collection is that with like
that's
the
with Michael
black?
Jackson. Yeah, that's with the multicolor key poles and stuff like that, the glow in the dark and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
shit's hard. But I like the stuff with the orange chain and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
so
Those
that's
guys
the first
are really
collection.
nice,
First one.
Yeah,
The iridescent tote bags. That's the first or second?
iridescent tote bags.
Are they totes or like the big ones? They're like pretty.
Yeah,
big
not the
bags.
tote bags. The
you're
travel
talking like
bags.
duffels
Yeah, it
or
looks
whatever.
kind of like yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Those
Yeah.
are really nice.
That's the
though.
first one.
That's the first one too. Yeah,
Yeah.
those.
I like the ones that are like, I don't know how you call that material, but it's like purple. I don't know. I have to
No,
pull
that's
it
what
up.
he's talking about. Is iridescent.
Yeah.
I think
Not
that's the one that
the
you're saying.
ones that glow in the dark though. Isn't
No,
it
no,
like a different
no,
that's
no, no.
two separate ones. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
is that what you call it? Iridescent.
Well, to me, that's what it looks like when the color changes depending
Yeah.
on the light and stuff like that.
That's what I'm talking about. Those ones.
And how do you feel about fashion and, like you said, streetwear, luxury? Is there even a point to putting a label on
Not
it
really.
anymore?
It's
Isn't
kind of more.
clothing?
Yeah, it's kind of more to make sense out of it, I guess, just because like
To me, it's just your price will determine what category you'll be in.
literally.
Like if you can sell your T-shirt at $30, you'll be streetwear. If you sell it at $300, you'll be high fashion.
Yeah, because even like growing into what I've been learning in school is like I had to dumb down any idea for it to make sense to a professor. So that's how I kind of think about like explaining what fashion is to certain people. So like explaining to a professor what streetwear is versus explaining to them what this designer's interpretation of what streetwear is on a Parisian runway. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like those two contrasts is like what I feel like I have to do as a creator on YouTube, and also like as a normal person, like in a conversation that anyone would ask me about that. That's kind of what I would offer to them. You know what I mean?
And do you still find yourself personally wearing quote unquote traditional streetwear brands, or are you more like?
Yeah, I always butcher this name. I think it's Stussy, so I'm gonna go with
Stussy, yeah.
Yeah, it is Stussy. So yeah, I have a lime green Stussy beanie that I wear pretty often, honestly. So yeah, so that's like I would call that generic streetwear too. And then also I guess Supreme is still kind of considered generic streetwear in a sense.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. It's getting up high, like with the whole notoriety that it has now. But yeah,
it's so popular. It's
so popular.
Insane.
It's so crazy to think like when we first met, we were doing those pickup videos. It was getting crazy views, yeah. But at the same time, it was still a thing that was like, oh wow, I'm gonna watch this video because I can't get it, and I still don't know how to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
the
we could
days
still
where
still go into a store and walk in and buy stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember those days
Yeah.
where you could actually walk into Supreme.
Like now we're getting so discouraged to the fact that like the last time Remy and I and all of us went to New York, we literally stood in a line. A half line is what we actually found out that it was. So we get into this line, we're going through majority of it. We get to like a barricade, which is a security guard. He's just posted up, standing there.
What did he tell us?
Mean mug on his face. He's like, "Where's your stamp?"
What stamp, sir?
Sir, what stamp? We're waiting for the stamp. That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah, that's what
and
we're
he's
here
like,
to get.
Nah, you gotta go down the block on Westchester Street or some shit like that. I was like, what are you talking about? We're waiting for the stamp. So when I heard that news, I was like, okay, now it's like you're breaking your head over possibly going into the store and buying like boxers. Like what? Like
let's be precise. We weren't there on a Thursday.
we were there on a Sunday.
Yeah,
right?
we're not there on a drop or
Yeah.
anything. Like we were
It's
just
crazy.
trying to get in to see the store. And talking about Supreme, it brings me right into the next subject I wanted to talk.
Okay.
Like when I think Supreme, kind of think Hypebeast automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a brand that is more Hypebeast than Supreme, other than Off-White? Because to me, like the second, and I'm not throwing shade in any way at Off-White because there's some nice pieces.
Yeah.
But it's undeniable that if you look at a typical, quote unquote, typical Instagram account,
Yeah.
like the person will be wearing like some an Off-White crew neck,
For sure.
some Amiri pants, and
I
some
think
Yeezys on.
Gucci is like that nowadays.
You
Gucci-
find so? But Gucci
Yeah.
is such an old house.
I
Yeah,
know,
I
but
can't
like,
even. Yeah, I can't even discredit them and say like they're a hype beast brand. You know.
You
But
know?
like nowadays,
Because
you just
they'll
see
be
that.
here after the trend.
Right.
Like when even when it stops, they're still gonna
Yeah.
keep doing their stuff. You know.
Because you could even say that with Burberry when they made the multicolor sweatpants, like when
Yeah,
every
yeah.
hype beast was getting that. You know what I mean? So, I feel like a brand aside from what you just noted would probably be Bape as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like
is
the
it even
trifecta.
like hot enough to be considered?
I would say so,
hype
yeah.
beastie?
Because when
I
I
fuck
go to
with that.
LA, that's a sold item. Like
Mhm.
like if you go into the
LA
store,
is a very specific market
That's
though
true.
for Bape.
That's
Like it's
true.
very
and then in New York too, though. Like there's big markets
but
for Bape.
I don't know. I just feel as a brand,
Mhm.
obviously there's pre and post Nego.
Yeah.
But even like in the recent years, I feel like they've gone buck wild with the collaborations. Like I feel like they're just trying to catch up
Like
with
Jaws, like Jaws
Yeah.
collab, bro.
Supreme. Yeah.
Really?
I kind of like some of the Uggs, like the coat.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked it actually.
The Mastermind Uggs were fire too. The Chrome Hearts Uggs are fire too. Like
How do you feel about Chrome Hearts?
I personally, I found like a love for Chrome Hearts in my recent years. Like when I first used to see it, it was
The
kind of
jewelry or the clothing?
both.
Both?
actually.
Okay, both.
Yeah. So I originally when I first started getting into it, I found it kind of gaudy. I wasn't super into like this whole gothic aesthetic at the time, but like I started talking to this girl Megan. She's like really into like gothic in general, like that whole style in general. Yeah. So then she kind of like I guess inspired me in a way to be like, oh, okay, like let me look into other brands aside from like whatever's in front of my face, because like I was like, into like classic wear or like other shit like that too. But then I found like a lane that was like, oh wow, like I could kind of interpret this and put it into my own way, because like gothic was so like outlandish and I found it to be so like crazy with the bondage or like whatever, like
Because you can
spikes.
go so
You
far
could go
on the
so
scale.
far, yeah.
The goth scale.
Literally, like you could go into Chrome Hearts and come out looking like you work at Hot Topic. You know what I mean? Like if you don't
The most
piece it together.
expensive
Exactly.
outfit at Hot Topic of all
Facts.
time.
Facts.
And would you consider buying the clothing or the jewelry first? Because the jewelry is it's much more expensive.
Yeah.
But jewelry is always going to be more expensive
Yeah.
than clothing. So
So for me, it was weird. The first time that I got my Chrome Hearts pieces, I got my hat and my jewelry in the same trip. But I got my jewelry first just because I had already set it up with Romel. Because shout out Romel Doyle. He's he's from Houston, but he moved to New York. That's the homie.
basically lives in Japan.
Basically lives in Japan. Got stuck out there. Free my boy Romel. You already know.
The ramen master.
And so he had these two cross pendants for me, and he like basically we worked out a deal where I paid way less than what the retail price is,
Wow.
because the big cross is 2.7K and
Yeah.
the small one is like 1,000 something
USD.
USD at that, right? So I got it for way less
Damn.
through Romel, and then I was looking for jewelry. Like I try to get one piece of jewelry in the summer, just like to treat myself type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got that through Romel. I already PayPal'd them money, and I just had to pick it up in New York. And then after that, I was like, oh, like I really wanted to go see the Chrome Hearts store while I was out in New York, and I seen a trucker hat that I really wanted because it was a New York exclusive. They only sell it at that store.
I feel like it's a common first buy though, like a Chrome Hearts hat. I
Yeah.
feel like that's where a lot of people will start.
For
with Chrome
sure.
Hearts.
Because a lot, like even online, it's like priced at like $400, which is not the price at all. I think it's like $160 in store,
Really?
which a lot of people don't know. Like I think this
Whoa.
guy I think Edison or something like that. My bad if I'm butchering your name, bro. But
Edison Chan?
No. There's this other guy. I think he had DM'd me and he was like, "Yo,
Okay.
like, there's this website that's selling Chrome Hearts for like $400. Like, is that the actual price? Because I heard that you were saying that it's like way cheaper in store. Like, what's the price?"
Mm-hmm.
I told him 160. He's like, "Bro, I'm going to New York like in a month. Like, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna go and buy it."
So it was an official retailer selling it
retailer.
for over twice.
But they don't even have official. Well, they do. They have like Holtz and stuff like that. But
Uh-huh.
like online, there is no specific online retailer.
There's
for
no
Chrome Hearts.
official way to get it
they just
online.
buy it and then they sell it. So
Ah.
technically, it could be considered resale, but like they just make it look so official that it's not considered resale. I guess.
Wow.
So yeah.
It's like catered very well.
Yeah.
Basically.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So then I ended up getting the hat, and I bought 2 long sleeves for my friends, both Drew and Jer. They're super into Chrome Hearts as well. So that's definitely like one of my favorite brands right now. It's like Chrome Hearts and Alix are like my 2 favorite brands right now.
I feel like Alix is fire, but it's kind of getting popular very, very fast.
Very fast. It's
So
scary.
I'm afraid that I'm afraid of how they're gonna react to the
Yeah.
fame.
Mm-hmm.
But Matthew Williams, right?
Mhm.
Like he's awesome. Like
Yeah.
his work is amazing. What he did with Dior also.
Word.
Like think about it. Like the man made a belt buckle a signature. Like that's amazing.
That's crazy, bro.
Like you
That's
get
literally insane.
everybody recognizes your belt buckle.
Facts.
That's
Like the fact that
legendary.
you could tag along with Dior and be like, yeah. You're like, I'm just gonna make the belt buckles, and like that's your job.
and it's the piece, and it's like the cherry on top
Literally.
of Dior. You know.
Facts. That's
So how do you
crazy.
feel about the 30K retail metal Dior thing?
Honestly,
Because I read an article that was like, oh, it's actually an investment.
What is it?
there's this.
It's a side bag?
Yeah, this satchel bag from Dior. Like they've
Mhm.
been making this signature kind of like shape to it. I'm sure Remy could be like he'll find it.
Mhm.
But they make this satchel now. But then they also made a metal version,
Mhm.
which is like super like cyborgy futuristic a la max, and it's like what $27,000.
$30,000 is what I saw.
30,000, and that was
basically.
euros.
Can I
It's
see
like
it?
it's like
My-
this version.
My friend has this one with the classic Dior monogram,
You
which
saw
is beautiful.
Gunna
Gunna,
put the
yeah.
bag
Yeah.
inside the Louis bag,
Yeah.
the Dior bag inside the Louis bag,
That's insane.
full of hundreds, bro.
Gunna's
That-
the goat,
Bro.
drip god, bro, drip god.
Do you think do you find he ever missteps, or most of the time you think like he does pretty good?
Who Gunna?
Yeah,
With his
fashion in
outfits?
general. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I love Gunna's outfits just because I know no one could tell him different. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing with Young Thug. Like they'll
Mhm.
just piece stuff together, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I don't like it," or "Oh, I love it," because it's them. Like I can't picture anyone else in that outfit aside from him. Like
They own it.
yeah, exactly. So outside looking in for Gunna, like some people could be like, "Oh, he looks like an auntie today," but like, be like, yeah, he's the flyest auntie out. You know what I mean? Like, in
Well, I mean,
in-
we
it's
got Rocky
opinionated.
wearing a babushka.
There you
so
go. You know what I'm saying? So
Grandma
everyone
looks is in for sure.
you have the grandma looks, you have the auntie looks, got all of it.
And going back to the hypebeast thing, do you
Mhm.
feel like Chrome Hearts could ever become a hypebeasty brand? Are you afraid it might happen?
I'm afraid of it because it has come in and out of trend in the past. Because like even looking back, like Lil Wayne in like early 2000s used to wear Chrome Hearts too.
Wow,
You know
I
what
didn't
mean?
know
Like,
that.
Yeah, there's like old pictures of him. There's this really good account called Hidden NY.
Okay.
Yeah. Or
On Instagram,
yeah,
Hidden NY.
Hidden NY. It's really great because they just show like all like basically like a perfect mood board for me because like early 2000s is like what I grab a lot of my inspiration
It's
from.
your nostalgia, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's the account right there. So then they show a whole bunch of different pictures like of
Wow,
what's
they got me
happening.
right away with the
Right.
Goyard. Goyard
They
merch.
got you hooked. So then they posted this picture of Wayne wearing the Geo Dunks. And I
Really?
was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, and then there was another picture of him wearing Chrome Hearts hoodie and stuff like that. And then I was backtracking. I was like, damn, this is really true. Like a lot of like this like rocker influence when I was a kid. Like
Mhm.
Wayne made it okay to not listen to only rap. Like you could listen to other things too.
Wow. So you find Lil Wayne is
Yeah, when I was. There you go.
Justice is
Yeah.
gonna be right back. We
Alright,
got somebody coming.
All right, sounds good.
So you find Lil Wayne is the one of the first people to like expand your music horizons.
Yeah, he expanded not only my music horizon, but also I find my my fashion too a bit, because I was really like listening to Wayne like for a while, like honestly like a good amount of my
mixtape Wayne.
Yeah, mixtape
Carter,
Wayne, for sure. Dedication,
the drought,
all of that. So like he was a really big inspiration to like my whole upbringing for sure. And
Lil Wayne is like the Allen Iverson of hip hop.
Facts. Really, like literally, like
they both work super hard.
Yeah,
kind of underrated, but still recognized, and like they don't take shit from anybody basically.
So
and they have their own style.
And what was weird for me was that I started getting into Bape more so not directly through Pharrell. Ironically, it was more so through Wayne.
Really?
Yeah. So I started seeing
trickle
Wayne.
down effect.
Yeah, it was a kind of like a trickle down effect, and then I went back and backtracked to like Pharrell, because I wasn't super big on Pharrell's music for some reason. I don't know what it was, but then I found my appeal through other people like liking Pharrell's, and they're like, yo, you actually have to give him the time, like listen to him. And I was like, okay, wow, like he actually has a really good discography, and he has.
Yeah, but I do understand though that like Pharrell, his sound is it's kind of aggressive in a way.
Yeah,
it comes at you like very like fully charged. Like there's a lot of things happening. It's very energized. It's very, especially back then, it wasn't typical at all, you know.
Yeah.
But he is undeniably a fashion legend. Same for the music. I mean, Skateboard P, bro. He wore those Viotex way back.
Insane.
And like just recently, you saw the picture he posted with the Chanel's.
Yeah, the top and then the Pharrell at the bottom. That's insane.
But talking about Chanel, I kind of want to get into maybe a little bit of a, not a touchy subject, but something that we like people don't necessarily like to talk about.
No, that's fine.
But it's like you know, like recently Karl Lagerfeld died.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you know me, I'm a curious guy. I like to do my research when stuff happens, you know. So I was like, I've always seen the face. I know he's like I always associate him with Chanel and his own brand, like Karl Lagerfeld. And I was like, let me look into the guy a little bit. And have you done that?
Yeah.
Not nice at all, man. The guy is a racist.
Yeah.
The guy is a sexist. The guy said awful things about the Me Too movement. The guy basically wanted to marry his cat.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like his cat is set to get 105 million euros. What? Like what is going on? Like he basically told models to just shut up and be skinny.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's so whack because it's like you have all these people celebrating him, where at the same time all you have to do is 30 seconds of Googling and you find out it's like, damn, bro. Wow. But it's like same thing. Recently Gucci just had a whole scandal break for the turtleneck.
Yeah. How
do you react to something like that?
For me, like it's kind of a touchy subject, like you said before, because like I am like a black male, like black Canadian male at that, you know what I mean? So looking at it, I'm like, obviously this would strike anyone to be like, wow, this is blatantly racist, and like, why would Gucci even do that? But then you have to take it, like for me, I take it a step further because I just know the production level of how some of these houses go, or just like to make a fashion line. This had to get through
a lot of people,
sourcing, sampling, the whole spectrum of making a garment. This had to touch so many people's hands. You think it didn't pass by at least one black person? Like, so like this literally got slipped under like the radar by someone. And then also Dapper Dan is at Gucci now too.
And also the year before they released a face mask that had the exact same problematic color around the lips and everything,
and then it just didn't go viral. So
yeah, people didn't catch on.
They didn't say anything then. So literally Gucci probably was like, okay, the colorway worked that time, let's just
so do you feel there is a part of kind of fake outrage culture that is so popular now? For sure. But I also you don't condone it in any way. I don't condone it anyway, but I don't discredit it too that much, because it for sure has affected a lot of people. Like my grandmother was told to drink out another water fountain when she was growing up and stuff like that too. No, it's a very real thing for a lot of people. It shows such a lack of sensitivity that it's almost you're kind of forced to assume, wait, like they had to know it was wrong, right? So is there are we missing something? Is there a joke? Is there another angle? Or they just, and there was also that the Burberry, the noose, right? That was Burberry.
Yeah, the noose. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like this is also an interesting subject
Mm-hmm.
because we both have a kind of a reason to be offended, quote unquote, by it.
True.
Because, like you just said, you're a black man, and obviously, like, we don't have to go through like the history of lynching and how awful it is, but also on my side of the thing, like, I am extremely sensitive to suicidal images.
I remember.
Like, I really, you'll never catch me wearing, like, you know what, it was like suicidal tendencies or I'm no knock on any brand or whatever, or like, you know, like, so like a t-shirt that has like cut here or, you know, anything like that. And to be so insensitive, to think that in any way, like, can you make sense of it in any way? Like, is it pure ignorance? And even if it is ignorance, is there a reason to excuse it? Because like, you wouldn't, like, it wouldn't work the other way around at all.
Because even like back when we used to work at the store at local and everything, I remember the XXX Tentacion video came out when he was hanging by the noose, and I know the type of artist that he is. He's trying to do that to get a rise out of people because it was a controversial artist, still is a controversial artist even after death. So I feel like any type of artist, they're gonna do whatever they can to grab your attention.
It's different when you're an artist, a literal artist. You're not a multi-million-dollar company that, right? Like you said, has to go through a whole goddamn production line. Literally. But yeah, well, the X video.
Yeah, the X video. Yeah, I remember that touched you in a certain way where you're like, I feel uncomfortable with this. I was like, I agree. Like, literally, he's like making
kind of romanticizing
exactly, romanticizing like a cinematic, what he calls is a masterpiece by hanging by a noose, like in a video, and just rapping.
But you know what's interesting is that the Tyler video, the Yonkers video, where he does the same thing. But
how did that impact have on you versus that?
You know what I'm thinking about it is you don't actually see a noose in that video.
True.
Maybe that's why it didn't affect you as much, because you only see like, obviously you see his feet dangling. So it's like the imagery is still very raw and impactful. But I wonder if it's actually seeing a noose. You know what I mean? But just the fact that any like fashion, like, because again, like, I'm just speaking about the psychological aspect. Imagine if you're a minority that also has psychological that's like sensitivities towards that. You have a historical reason to be like, not like to have a reaction to nooses. So it's like, it's so insensitive.
But like, even to even go a little bit off track too, like I seen on Instagram, no, it was on Twitter, I think yesterday, this Momo challenge.
Yeah.
Like, that's disgusting to me. Like, any type, like,
have you seen the actual video?
I have.
Like, do you know what, like, because it's Filthy Frank.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's like somebody put Filthy Frank inside a kid's video, but Momo is because I'm kind of mixing two things, because there's another thing that I saw that it's basically a WeChat number that you it basically, I don't know how legitimate it is, but what I read was that, like, that Momo challenge thing is like basically a girl giving you instructions that are progressively getting more dangerous, and apparently, like, I think it's an Argentinian or a little, like, a 12-year-old girl apparently committed suicide. I don't know, so I shouldn't really be talking too much if it's been like actually confirmed. But like, like, to come back to the whole fashion thing, how insensitive fashion can be in many like aspects of life. For sure. Like, whether it be racially insensitive, whether it be towards women, whether it be towards, like, again, mental health. How you, like, it's such like, fashion is such a big part of your life. And yet, like, how do you not only distance yourself, but accept the fact that, in a way, like, the world that you're into has a lot of problems that obviously I'm not saying that, like, you're in any way, shape, or form, like, responsible for fixing those problems, but do you find, like, it hard in any way to be, like, invested in all those things where it's like, goddamn, like Gosha, you know, like we
Literally,
just
like
see
these are
like
a lot of
how bad it
serious
is
things.
that we just say a name and we're like, okay, let's not go too far because we know it's some
Literally.
super sensitive subjects.
Or like Bari or anything like that,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Or even Ian, like Ian,
Exactly.
I've had
so many of them.
conversations with him and stuff like
Mm.
that. Like I've known Ian on a personal level, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like even going as far as to like how do I make sense of it all
Mhm.
is I kind of had this conversation with I think it was with Bryant the other day, but I said like, okay, Bryant, if you made a shirt for Tragic Boys, right, and it had some type of along the production line, you didn't see anything wrong with it, but then it came out and then I seen it and it's about to be before the release and everything,
Mhm.
and I found it to be insensitive to a certain manner,
Mhm.
and it was already out. You put some teaser images up.
You
or whatever,
invested money into
and
it.
you invested money into it, and it's out. It's a tangible thing.
Mhm.
Would I completely discredit Bryant as an individual and be like, wow, you are disgusting, I'm never gonna wear your garments again? Or am I gonna be like, how do I make you learn from this situation and better your craft in the future type thing? Because yes, Gucci is a huge company and they shouldn't be making mistakes like this, but like everyone's human. I feel like a lot of things like that are going to happen in life, and it is insensitive to a certain extent, but like this is
So
life.
do you believe there's a chance that it was like so like they did it like so carefree, like there's nothing wrong with
Literally.
this, it's just like, oh, we're just
Literally.
putting red, like we could put yellow or we could put pink, but we chose red.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a chance that that's
Honestly,
actually what
I feel
happened?
like there could be a chance. Like I don't think they're like, like
Yeah.
we're about to bring it back
gonna
to the
slip
dark
this,
ages.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think it was that. Like honestly, but
Because
at
it
the
is
same
important.
time, I want to
yeah.
give them the benefit of the doubt. Like if that is what it was, like
Mm.
obviously that's disgusting and they shouldn't be doing that. But
Mhm.
with a big company like that, I don't feel like they're like blatantly putting out a racist message like to the world. So going back to if Bryant were to be doing that, I don't think I would completely discredit his whole brand and his whole entity of a person for one mistake that he made. So like I feel like even if that happened to me, I wouldn't want people to treat me like that.
But that kind of brings into like an interesting subject. Do you believe that fashion brands have any word in who gets to buy their clothing, or sure they're not? Because you know, like some brands like famously said, "Oh, we only want
Skinny people,
exactly
this, like that. Yeah.
pretty people
Yeah.
to wear our stuff."
I mean, I feel like everyone has their say in whatever they want to wear in life. So, like, anyone can wear whatever they want. So, the brand telling you, oh, we only want so-and-so to wear. A consumer is going to be a consumer. They're going to buy what they want to buy. So, like, you could say that all you want, but it's not going to have a direct impact on the person that's consuming the clothing, because they could take your message that you say and be like, fucking, I'm gonna be an anarchist, and I'm gonna buy it.
I'm gonna
anyway,
flip it.
and I'm gonna flip it, and I'm gonna maybe even gas it even more and interpret it into my culture, because that's kind of like what happened with Tommy Hilfiger. For like I don't know the whole logistics of it, but I know a lot of people were just like, okay, Ralph Lauren isn't really showing us the support that we found within.
He's
the
not
community.
acknowledging the black community.
He's not acknowledging it. So let's move on to Tommy, and then Tommy was like, oh wow, like they actually appreciate my clothes, and I feel like I should give them something back, you know, to like show my due diligence, you know what I mean? So like,
But that right there is an example of how that's how you should react to like basically integrating your company to different cultures and being open to different things, not by being like, oh, we can do anything, like it's all fun and games.
It's
like,
so true.
Like,
but then even with Gucci, I don't feel like they turned a blind eye to it. Like they put out the statement super fast. They sent Soulja Boy the gloves. Like they know what they're doing. They have a lot of sorries to do, but like they should just do it in a more calculated manner. I feel like that's all it is. Like,
in a perfect world, they should have apologized before people got angry.
Yeah,
it should have been, we have recently been notified that one of our items may be racially insensitive, so we have decided to pull it from it. Like before it's a scandal, that would have been irresponsible,
because it was already viral at the time. And then it doesn't help that you have people that are like ignorantly just like, I'm gonna go buy Gucci anyway, like Floyd Mayweather and like and Kodak, because both of them are looked at in the media as like people that aren't as intelligent when it comes to being like ignorant with their money and stuff like that, or just like being like ignorant in a lot of matters.
Do you feel it's perpetuating stereotypes.
Yeah, literally, because like those two guys are the ones that are biggest in the media, and they're like, it's a rich boxer and it's a rich rapper, and both of them are like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy Gucci anyway, I don't give a fuck. Like it looks super bad. Like it looks bad on us, but then also at the same time, I hope that there's other people like I believe Henson, Matthew Henson, Rocky Stylist, put a statement out on his Instagram story. He was like, listen, I've represented Gucci for Rocky and myself, and I could say that they've opened up to us with like open arms and like took us in, and he doesn't feel like that's just because they are a huge entity and like they're Rocky Stylist and Rocky, you know what I mean? He feels like it's generally like they appreciate their fashion sense, and that it's not just like a marketing ploy, you know what I mean?
Because
so,
Rocky has a really good relationship with Gucci.
relationship with Gucci, you know what I mean? So like I don't feel like it was a super, like I don't feel like that was the direct message for sure. Like there's certain people in the black community within fashion that are doing a great job of like making sure it's consumed the right way, and also there's like people that are like doing it super ignorantly. So
what would you say is the most famous black owned brand right now? Fear of God?
Yeah. No, it's Virgil.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Virgil. Off-White is bigger.
100%.
For sure, eh?
Like the moment I knew Virgil was an entity was when I was at Essence waiting for these Prestos. I only ended up getting the Air Force Ones signed or whatever because he had a bunch. Only, but like still, I wish I had the Prestos.
Of course, die.
And then this guy was about to leave because like he was just there for a little too long. Like he already had his fun or whatever. He was only supposed to be there for like some of the VIP clients, and he ended up staying a little longer. But when he had to leave, there's like this small little alleyway in Essence, like on the side of the building.
The new Essence.
Yeah, exactly, the new Essence. And there was a Lincoln truck all blacked out, like from the airport, a Lincoln Navigator, and literally is like swarmed by these kids, like, and they're putting their flash to the window, like Virgil, like
he's a star.
Like he's a star. Like he is a mega star, and to see that for designers like so inspiring to me. Like that's
you want to hear something wild about that whole like Virgil Air Force One thing? I know somebody that's not gonna be named that bought a couple Air Force Ones and faked a signature and sold them online.
Did he get bread? He got mad bread?
Yeah, he sold like 2 pairs for over like $700, bro. He paid retail. He just Sharpied, like, he copied what he saw in the pictures and just sold them, bro.
Get your bread, king. That's crazy.
Bro, like, that's insane. He just, like, on the description, he put, like, pictures of the line at Essence and stuff like that to make it look like he was part of it all.
I got offered $75 for my Off-White Sharpie.
75? Hold on. At least 100 USD.
Yeah, no, that's literally what I said, too. I was like, I'll take 100. He's like, nah. I was like, fuck. I want $100 for this Sharpie right now.
$100 Sharpie, dog. But I mean, yeah, because basically you set the price for it. The market is so volatile for it that like nobody else is selling it. So why not it be $100?
It's so true. Like literally for Virgil, I feel like he's so respected to the fact that like the handful of conversations that I've had with him, like honestly, he's a maniac because when we went to his installation in Essence where it shows like his home office but in like a gallery type of setting, he has in the fax machine print out schedules of his life for a month basically, right? And it's literally like it says 15 minutes, take time and breathe. Like that's he has scheduling to like
breathing
to breathe, you know.
Well, that's like, probably just code for meditation.
Yeah, like literally meditation. Then he has like coffee meeting at this time, and then like there's like non-stop meetings, back-to-back flights, and then like anyone that discredits, like, okay, you could discredit the craft or like you might not like the garment, but you have to respect like the hustle because
undeniable.
Undeniable. Like literally working at Louis, doing Off-White, DJs, art galleries, like it doesn't stop, you know what I mean? So like
he's following a fashion calendar with 2 brands. One of them has a men's and a women's.
Yes.
And he's, like you said, he's a DJ. He travels all over the world constantly.
Art gallery.
He's a workaholic. He definitely has earned every position that he's been given. You know,
100%. And doing it all in 6 years, like to get recognized by Louis in 6 years is unheard of, especially for an African American.
But he is a very polarizing figure, which is weird because I've never heard me personally him say something completely wild or say anything problematic.
No,
or
he's super
no
reserved.
scandal, you
like,
know?
People don't know, like, Virgil has a wife and kids. Like, he just doesn't put all this out on the internet. Like, he just shows you, like, I've been working hard at this, and this is what I want to show to you guys. Like, it doesn't have to get personal with me. You just have to respect my work ethic.
This is my work.
This is my work. Take it as you will. Me as an individual, you get bits and pieces whenever people do interviews with me, but even at that, you only get glimpses of my mind. And most people won't even scratch the surface when it comes to his brain, because I feel like a lot of his interviews are so calculated and
cookie
in-depth.
cutter.
Yeah, when he says it. So yeah, you only really get what Virgil says out of his mind when you actually have a conversation with him, I feel like. Or like if you know someone that knows him type thing. It's unfortunate. But.
Well, when he did the Nike event in New York, he had a conversation with Kim Jones and a moderator that I found very interesting because he's next to one of his peers.
Exactly.
So it's like rare that you have somebody that is the man of the hour, but at the same time is, you know, next to almost a fashion god in a way, you know, like a huge icon, bro. Literally. Like it's amazing how, like you said, how much of an impact he's had in half a decade, basically.
Facts.
Like he's left his mark. Just if you zoom out a little bit with some perspective, the impact that the Nike Off-White collection has had for Nike is like not something that can be understated, you know. Like it was their answer to a whole new technology from Adidas. Was this young black kid from Chicago, like, just remix our shit. That is huge, bro. And he not only did they give him the chance, but he hit a home run. Like he killed it. Like, can you imagine how stressful it must be for Nike to be like, okay, here's not one model, here's 10 of them, and by the way, it's 3 brands, so all our umbrella is like good to go. You get a Jordan, fine. You want a Converse, fine. You want Nikes, here's 9 of them. Like, that is insane.
He's only told no once.
Would you know what he got no?
Yeah, it was putting a swoosh on the Converse.
But okay, so what Chinatown Market kind of did?
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
That's the only thing he got told no for.
I guess because it was cross branding.
Exactly. Yeah.
What I think he should have pushed, because I mean, me being a sneakerhead, it would have been like, yeah, but you put Nike Air on Jordans.
Yeah, it's true.
Come on, dog.
Yeah,
I don't know, but he's not quick witty. He's not a sneakerhead, dog. You gotta have me in the meeting.
It's true. Still in the meeting.
But yeah, Virgil assistant, his job must be hectic, bro. Can you imagine how, like, we must sleep barely anymore.
I know he has multiples. That's what I do.
He probably has like an assistant for every.
He has one for every,
like a DJ assistant.
Exactly, because
I know assistant.
One of the buyers from Essence is really tight friends with the assistant of Virgil for the women's wear line.
Okay.
And she's super gorgeous, by the way. She does an amazing job for Virgil. But then, like, they just do like, she's just always busy. Like, and imagine like him, like like he's busy, but then the assistant is busy too. So like, that's when you know it's real. Like, that's
but
crazy.
he is the modern American dream in many ways.
It's true.
You know, like literally finding some stuff. Like, the man bought like polo shirts and flipped them for so much.
I remember those days where, like, literally when I was the buyer I was the assistant buyer at Orlando Styles when I was like super young.
Wow. Throwback.
Yeah, way back. That's when I met my boy Calvin and everything like that. He'll be on the podcast soon.
Shout out Calvin.
We'll definitely
He's actually
talk.
here right now.
Oh, he is here right now? Okay.
So.
Well, he's probably in the next room or something, chopping it up. But then, we were both working together at this boutique called Orlando Styles, and I was pitching different brands for Orlando to bring into the store because I was the assistant buyer. I wasn't the full-time buyer. So I was telling him, like, like V-Lone, Pyrex, all these brands that were, even Fear God first season, which is like with the like elongated tees and
when
stuff like
he
that.
actually did the denim.
Exactly. So I was telling him all these brands, and he's like, "No, I don't know, man. I don't know." And then RSVP picks up Pyrex, and then they do the campaign, and then they do the shoot with Ian, and then ASAP Nas is in it. He's like, you know what? I think we're gonna get Pyrex. You know what I mean? And I was like,
so.
yeah, I think it's a good idea too, right? So we got everything except for the flannels, just because there weren't a lot of them.
Okay.
Sold out in 4 days. Like,
really?
Yeah, literally in 4 days. But that was a hard sell for us. Like we would like sell out in a day or two if we got like something like Pink Dolphin or something like that.
Wow.
Like that, which was like a year.
Yeah,
or
back
so,
then.
or,
Yeah.
Right. So when selling it on 4 days was like kind of like rocky, but then at the same time you're paying like $250 for
exactly. It's per unit. It's still very profitable.
Yeah. So.
And what is like? Is it still open today? Or?
Orlando Styles?
Yeah.
No, it ended up closing, I believe, in 2014. Right when when I left high school is when it closed, I believe.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it hasn't opened since like way back when it. Okay. So,
No.
and have you kept in touch?
Yeah, he's doing his thing in New York. He's like helping out a lot of kids in Haiti and stuff like that. So,
oh
like,
wow! Shout out to him then,
for
bro.
sure, man. Like he's doing an amazing job. Like he's like buying cars and like sending them to Haiti and stuff like that too. So like I really respect what Orlando does for the community and also what he did for me, because without that job I don't think I would be as emotionally invested into fashion, because like he gave me like something that I was like, okay, you can make a career out of this type thing.
I mean, the fact that you were a buyer at such a young age,
like at like 16, right? You know what I mean? Like he gave me such a hard task, but he saw like a passion in me, I guess, that he was like able to like subside with, and he was like, wow, like this kid actually has something, and he values what I value for my image and this store. So like if I could trust him in it, I'm sure he could trust me with whatever I throw his way, right? So it's crazy. It was a good job.
And was that your first job?
That was not my first job. My first job was... What was my first job?
That you can say on air.
Yeah. Across the country, you know what I'm saying? Narcos. But yeah, I think my first job was at my mom's work. She's in the car industry, and there's like a sub company that she works with too, which is like detailing the cars for this car dealership. And she got me in with the car detailing, and I was like detailing cars. I was like waxing, doing a whole bunch of stuff like that. And they were very high priced cars, so I was very scared. But I was basically just getting money so I could like feed my BMX habit at the time. So like, cause like all the parts for my bike were super expensive, so I was putting all the money into my bike. And then
would you hop on a bike?
I would. Like,
we're gonna see Kyron on a BMX in 2019.
Nice. He's nice.
I am pretty nice still, but like it's just the thing is that balancing the two is so hard. Like literally, like I couldn't imagine trying to go to a skate park like every other weekend just to like go to Taz or something like that.
Yeah, actually like work on the craft of being good. Yeah,
exactly.
Because it has to be like. But how deep were you into BMXing?
I would every weekend. Every weekend, like literally every weekend. All my money was going to parts and like paying for Taz like sessions and like.
Did you have a favorite BMXer?
Yeah.
Dave Mira, Matt Hoffman.
No, still to this day it's Chad Curley.
Okay.
Yeah, Chad Curley is crazy.
So you must like find it awesome that Nigel is like popping right now.
That's insane. Like I still want to get those shoes just to support him, because like that's like a big part of my whole upbringing. Like I transitioned from skateboarding and BMX to fashion at a young age, because like I just realized that. Okay, like this is fun, but can I make a career out of this? Possibly not. I'm not gonna go pro, so let me go into fashion, because like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Kyron, you have a sick style. Like you could probably do something with this." So I was like, "Okay."
There's less chance of injury in the fashion world, I think.
I think breaking an ankle on the runway is very.
You can break necks.
Yeah, you can break,
but
necks,
not yours.
not yours, exactly.
So talking about breaking necks, describe to me, like a fit that you would wear when you would be not necessarily trying to break necks, but like. When you quote unquote like get a fit off in 2019, how would you? Yeah. No budget limit.
No budget limit.
Yeah.
Okay. For me,
boots.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Like it's either you go super like designer with it, or like me, I like kind of this careless type of vibe for me, because like a lot of the outfits that I see now are pretty like attention grabbing when it comes to the accessories. Like the accessories are like the big part of it, because jewelry has been so tied into fashion recently. So I feel like the jewelry is what is the more oh my god, that's
It's the
beautiful.
ultimate accessory.
It's the ultimate
is
accessory.
A nice piece of jewelry.
Exactly, and I feel like a good representation of that is like Luka Sabat. Like he could dress super careless, like as if he's going to the airport, which is like full sweatpant outfit, cool kicks, a scarf, the Louis side bag, glasses, hat, and then like crazy chains. You know what I mean? So like a lot of it like pieced together, it probably looks like, oh wow, this guy doesn't care. But if you were like to like really break it down, it'd be like, wow, this like he actually like took the time out and like
Every piece is there for a reason.
yeah, exactly. And then like all the like the tones of the grays match. You know what I mean? Like it's dope. It's like it's dope. I like stuff like that. But like if it was like to go like super avant-garde with it would probably be like
For you, eh?
for
you.
me. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm saying for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I appreciate Luca's style for sure. Like he's like,
And you feel like it would translate well to your
well to me,
also.
for sure. Yeah, that's why I was giving that as a good reference because like I like all careless styles for sure. Like sweatpants, kicking it stuff like that. But then also like if I'm going to like super dress up, I've been into like I got back into the whole like heady vibe recently, like after
Hedy
Celine.
Slimane?
Yeah, Hedy Slimane.
Okay.
After the Celine show, I was like, wow, this is like actually really great because he's showing a little bit more diversity as opposed to like what he was doing at Saint Laurent and everything. It was like all the models, yeah, they are skinny, but like at least now they're like
They better be skinny
Yeah,
with the size of them pants, bro.
exactly. But like now they're like some
They
of them
look
are
like
cropped.
triangles, bro.
So
so wide
crazy.
and man, the shoulder pads,
I
man.
swear.
So you like what he's doing right now?
I like what he's doing right now.
Would you go full Celine outfit?
Yes, literally. Like
Yeah,
in that video that you were talking about, the 10 fashion
Yeah.
shows that I was talking about. Celine was my favorite one from that Paris Fashion Week.
So yo, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause,
number
like,
one.
Yeah, number one because there was a couple fits that I was like, wow, like if I had the money and I could walk into Celine, I'd be like, yeah, like give me the whole
Let's
outfit.
do this.
Yeah, I'll be like, let's do this. Like, give me the whole thing. And there's like one specific one that I seen on the runway. I was like, wow, like I'd actually like wear that whole thing.
Oh.
So, and me personally, I would save up for the leather pants from that show. Like, it's actually like really, really nice.
Do you have a good pair of leather pants right now?
I
or
have
you're
one, but
okay.
I thrifted them, and they're ripsack, which is good. They're good leather, like they're really, really nice. It's just that they're super baggy, and the first time I wore them, the waist is like super wide, so I got like a shoelace. I tied it, I used it as a belt. It gives her like a cool silhouette, but I just wear it with Docs.
You like a better fitting one.
Yeah, I would like a skinny.
With
one.
Docs must look sick though.
Yeah, it looks crazy. It's like I look like a Sith Lord. It was.
Did
dope.
you get yours in yet, Justice? Because you're about to be part of the Doc gang, right?
Yes. Sir.
Yeah, nah, I don't know. I got a message, but I think it's tomorrow because like it takes 1 to 2 days. to ship, right?
Yeah, super quick.
Shout out to the plug.
Facts.
Yes. Sir. And then also like speaking of Docs, like that's another thing like Justice and I were talking about is having like a nice combat boot. Like having like a dope combat boot is like really good for your wardrobe.
And what would be your go-to?
SLP.
SLPs?
You want the SLPs?
I would.
Yeah. For me, if like I actually found them in my side, it would be the DR Navigator boots from 2004.
2004.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is there like different models of them?
No, because that was Head Easier. But he did DR.
How many houses has he been to? Saint Laurent, Celine,
Saint Laurent, Celine, Dior. There's one more too that I'm blanking on, but yeah, that's his 3 main ones that he's known for.
Yeah, 3 pretty
nice
nice ones.
Really nice
Wow.
ones, for real.
And would it be like obviously like something that you would like to do one day?
To head a house?
Yeah.
I feel like I would, but also like I talked about this in the video as well, is that like I feel like Hedy, since he has such a distinct aesthetic, I feel like at this point in his career he should definitely have his own brand. Like,
his name,
like literally his name, like how Raph has Raph Simmons and he heads at Calvin. Well, he used to head at Calvin, but
I feel like they gave up too quick. But
yeah, they did.
I'm not into like the whole like behind the scenes
The
of
sales
it. I'm
the
sure
sales
they
were
were
doing really
horrible.
bad. Yeah,
even
doing
on
really
sale,
bad.
they had a hard time selling. I'm aware, but that is something that I like. I found it like kind of interesting because I associate high fashion with luxury and rich people having unlimited budgets and stuff like that. But when you get into it, you realize that like most people that are into fashion, they'll almost never buy a piece at retail. They're like, no, wait for the 50 or even 70 if you're lucky. Like, unless it's a piece that is gonna sell out and gonna go into an archive, basically.
Yeah.
Like, don't spend your money at full retail, and that was like, it's something you have to learn, you know, because when you're just getting into it, you're like, okay, that's the price, that's what I should pay. It's like, nah, like, be patient. Sales are coming. Sales are huge in the fashion, in the high fashion world.
And a big person that taught me about that would be Sanj. Is like, he just knows the calendar of everything. Like,
awesome
he's so calculated
YouTuber
with it. Yeah, awesome YouTuber. Like, shout out to Sanj, bro. He kills that shit. He was like, I live in Montreal, so I have Essence accessible to me, but like, he knew about a bit more about it than I even did. And
his fashion knowledge is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he knows a lot about so many different designers, and what I love about him is that he is clearly just into what he likes. And if what he likes happens to be popular, that's fine. But he definitely has his own style.
Literally.
Yeah, he's very androgynous in many ways with his fashion, and I always admire that in many ways. Like, to be able,
I feel like him and Avery are super like that. Like, they're so distinct in their own fashion that they don't really care what other people say when it comes to like, oh, I feel like you should wear this or that. Like, they just know what works for them, and they're gonna do that no matter what the critics say or anything like that. Like, a lot of us may say that, but we will take it slightly into the consideration. You know what I mean? But like, for me, like, it took me a lot to be like, okay, you know what? I would wear tabby boots, but like, maybe a year or two ago, I probably wouldn't wear them. You know what I mean? Like,
I love them, but I'm still not. I couldn't wear them yet. Is it true there used to be Japanese construction boots? I saw that somewhere. I
don't want to say yes because Avery is probably gonna listen to this part because I'm gonna.
And
send it to him.
if you don't get it right,
and if I don't get it right, he's gonna get mad at me. So
let me know, Avery, if I was right.
I'm just gonna plug Avery's video when he talks completely about the history of the tabby boot. You should definitely check that out. The viewers.
I think I've seen it actually.
Go on Avery Grinsberg's channel, Geared Toward Gear. Definitely go check that out if you want some history on Maison Martin Margiela. For sure.
Sick. And do you find the YouTube fashion community, is it like well knit, or is it more like everybody kind of does his own thing, or do you like? At
first, it was kind of like that. Everyone kind of did their own thing, but then I feel like we all realized that we have certain interests in the same clothing. If it's not like, obviously it won't be the same piece all the time, every single time. But we found like common interests, like for, I feel like the people that I would associate myself as, like other people would watch them in the line of watching me too.
Suggested videos.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like people like Jacob Wallace, at first he was like under the umbrella of J. Keller, which is like, he was like making similar videos to him. So I was like, was he inspired by him or what? Because there was two Jacobs. I was like so confused, right? So then I started watching a bit of his videos. So okay, like I get the appeal and everything. He's doing DIYs and stuff like that. And then eventually, like, he reached out to me and we started like talking. Like, aside from J. Keller, sorry, there's two Jacobs. It's getting kind of confusing. Yeah. But then Jacob J. Keller was like kind of the monster body YouTuber for everyone at the time. Everyone's like god for this whole YouTube thing. Why a lot of us were doing it at the time. Yeah. Because he kind of set the pace. But then he kind of took a couple of us like under his wing type thing, right? So when he first did his first like sit down live chat, I was on the first panel. Nice. So he was talking about like kind of like the switch for him from streetwear to getting more into like the high end streetwear / high fashion, and then he was like super interested in how like what gravitated to you like saving up for a Balenciaga sneaker rather than just like buying Mishka, you know what I mean? So like I was like, I don't know, like I just grew up on it, you know what I mean? Like my dad was like, you could get 10 t-shirts or you could get one t-shirt, but then you could just, if you get the one t-shirt that cost the 10 t-shirts, you just have a bunch of white tees. And then like it's just like you gotta wait out your options type thing. And he's like, wow, like that's actually really smart. And then he kind of like started building up his high fashion wardrobe from that. So after Jacob kind of started settling down, I feel like Jacob J. Keller, that is, a lot of the other younger YouTubers I find kind of found their stamp in the community. So like Jacob Wallace started popping, I started popping, Fernando started popping, Avery was always like kind of like the higher tier.
Waz, go back to YouTube,
Waz. Everyone misses you, bro. Like, it's crazy.
He's a New York socialite though. Like, it's hard to tell that guy, stop going to clubs and go edit a
Dude,
video.
yeah,
like
he's gonna be like fuck that. Like Waz is gonna like, you know what? My goal is to like get rich and then have someone follow Waz at least 4 times out of the year and do like a day in the life of Waz. You know what I mean? Like that's
That'd
my
be
definitely
sick.
goal. Like I need like a filmer to do that for sure.
a day in the life would be awesome.
And I don't blame Jacob J. Keller. I mean Jacob Wallace for asking for an editor recently, because like editing is what takes the most time out of making these videos, bro. Like
I feel like it sucks the life
It
out
really
of the whole
does.
project.
like that last video that I did on the 10 fashion shows took me 2 weeks to edit,
God damn.
and that's literally
No,
like,
but people need to hear that stuff because they just see the video. They don't see
Yeah.
you working on it for 2 weeks
literally.
after going to school.
And that's like obviously okay. Like I kind of had a bit of like a writer's block type of moment for those 2 weeks. Like sometimes I would be discouraged and be like, this is a 43-minute video that I have to trim down to 30 minutes because I'm just OCD like that. I definitely want it to be like appealing and like also not too long or like visually like
Do you get deep
Unaware.
into your analytics and stuff like that, or do you just kind of let it ride?
I used to be, but then like now I kind of like just let it ride, because like if I do get tied up into that, it's just gonna drive me crazy, and I already have too many things to like think about when
Yeah,
it
it
comes to
doesn't bring
school.
any good to the content.
Exactly. Like I rather just worry about my R score. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what I
That
rather
number is
do.
more important than
than the YouTube analytics. You know what I mean? So after going back to the YouTube youngins basically. So after Avery was like kind of like the higher one out of all of us, like he was doing a lot of DIY stuff. That got a lot of clicks at the time, just because like a lot of people wanted to do like alternatives to things that were popping in their own way, stuff like that. Like he did like one of his memes is like the Galaxy vans. Like he used to like make like he made, instead of the Galaxy of home pauses, he did the Galaxy vans DIY, and it got mad views. Like,
Wow.
but like it's so funny looking back at it now. Obviously it's hilarious, but like at the time it was like
He played
yo,
the system.
genius. You know what I mean? So all these guys like Fernando and everyone like that. But then there's a lot of like other people in that time of like 2014 ish
Okay.
that like I feel like kind of like not fell off, but like they just like didn't find
The audience they
the
deserve.
audience they deserve. Yeah, exactly. Like Rosie, there's this guy Rosie, like he has to come back to YouTube for sure. There's a lot of people that definitely deserve the credit, but then after that 2014 block, I feel like people started gaining their true fan base. And going to like 2015, 2016, it was like only us, like really, like,
Yeah.
like it was literally only us, I feel like. And then now coming to 2018, 2019, there's like guys like Owen is like doing an extremely good job for sure. Like he's doing an amazing job. So Owen is working with Sicko, which is Ian Connor's brand, and he also works with Seventh Heaven, which is John Ross's brand, and then also he has his own brand that is coming out very soon. So
And how do you feel about the quote unquote bigger YouTube channels like PAQ and Hypsnobiety that are also kind of in the fashion world, but they attack it way more in a traditional media landscape type of way?
yeah.
Do you even consider them in the same kind of realm, or is what you do kind of so different that
I feel like it's super different because they're more actually I would put Kyra into another category because I feel like they're more of a TV channel,
an actual television show?
an actual
Yeah.
television show, like that's its own identity, especially now that they incorporated the BDYs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's literally
Well, you need to be on it. You were robbed. I was sure you were going to be one of the
A lot of
first
people-
nominees, like the first batch.
a lot of people said I was snubbed, but like
Yeah,
at the
bro.
same time, I put it into context. I was like, yo, if not me, Avery should have been on there too. You know what I mean? Like, and like even at that, you know what I mean? Like if it wasn't me, I would want Avery on there too. And Avery's not even on there. But then at the same time, I know both of our styles aren't like super traditional hype beastie, but also not like super clouded up like to the fact that we have like almost 100K on Instagram and everything. But then we're not posting like outfit pictures all the time. We're like rather post stories or like just talk to our viewers or anything. Like I feel like we're more relaxed with it. Like we're not super like outlandish when it comes to that.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe this year.
Maybe this year.
Maybe this
You
year.
know, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people on it that I feel like they definitely deserve to. Like Fernando and Jacob, 100%. Kai for sure. Canadian
Kai,
brother.
Yeah, sure.
Sanj for sure. Like,
Kai or Levi? Which style do you
which
prefer?
style do I prefer?
Style.
Very nice style.
Style.
Yeah. That. I like. Damn, that's a hard one.
I think Kai dress is better. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put
Yeah?
it out there. Yeah.
Word. Levi is nice with
I would
it.
say
Yeah. Because,
Levi's nice with it too.
Yeah.
I like Kai's style more, but at the same time, I started watching Kai's videos first.
Mhm.
I like Kai's earlier content more than I do now.
Well, it'd be nice if any of them would upload.
Yeah.
Recently, that'd
True.
be cool.
True.
But yeah, I feel it's weird because Kai, I've talked like I know the guy, but like he seems to be like he seems to care less, but yet get way more results
Mm-hmm.
than Levi, who seems to invest way more time and effort in every video. The editing, he actually has a guy that shoots with him.
Maz, shout out to
Like
Maz.
yeah, like he does so much work, and yet his channel doesn't get like receive the same amount of.
Credibility. That he
Well,
deserves.
I don't know. I just it's interesting, but
But it's true though. Like when I had that whole day when they're in Montreal, like
mhm.
filming the
we
whole
see you in this
content.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he was there doing his thing, like literally they had like a B, C part of the day of like things that they're going to do, and literally Levi was like, Maz, you're gonna get this shot, you're gonna get this shot. Like literally it's filmed like almost like a show. Like you know what I mean? Like yeah, I might go with the flow as like day-to-day activity, but at the same time within that day-to-day activity is make sure you got that shot, make sure you got that shot. Like he does things for you guys that
His
you guys
Asian vlogs were amazing.
insane.
So
Insane.
good. Yeah, no, I really really enjoy his
Yeah.
YouTube channel because it's really it's an the way I say it is like it's an authentic inside look inside I guess you could say the more privileged society.
Yeah,
You know,
you can say that.
because they seem very honest, very authentic, very aware of their situation.
Yeah.
Like they don't seem like arrogant rich kids at
no,
all.
definitely not. And then that's what I kind of appreciate for Kai. Like recently I went into his comment section on Instagram the other day because there's one that was like liked up like a lot, like almost like I think like 1,000 plus likes or something.
On a comment.
On a comment, right?
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this has to be good. Like it has to be crazy. So some kid was like, "Daddy's money" or something on a picture of him leaning on a G-Wagon or something like that. So then I was like, okay, what is his clapback gonna be? It's this long paragraph.
Ooh.
I made sure to look through it. I was like, it's either he's gonna go savage or he's literally gonna be so smart with it. And he was super smart and respectful to the guy, but like clap back at the same time, right? So he was like, honestly, my dad came from the bottom, literally from China.
He was homeless
homeless
in China.
in China, $5 in his pocket, literally working at restaurant to restaurant, trying to get food on the plate. Kai, Levi, and Jet all had to, when they wanted to buy clothes, they had to go to Value Village, and then that was like them splurging, you know what I mean? Like, and they would get clothes for like once a year, for school. So like living like that is insane. Like he said in brackets, including underwear. Imagine buying underwear from Value Village. Like that's like it gets low like that sometimes in life for people, and people only see the outside perspective of like, oh wow, these kids are rich, I wish I had my life like that, you don't deserve it, I do. But like you can't see that a lot of the time. Like a lot of people say, like I have a couple of wealthy friends as well, like they have these nice cars, they have Cullinan, they have fucking G-Wagons, they have bust down APs and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like they're living the life that these rappers talk about, but they're just lucky enough to be born into this life, and you can't be mad at it. It's just their life. Like that's all it is. Like,
As long as the person is aware,
exactly.
like you cannot fault them just as much as you wouldn't fault somebody for being born in a poor part of the city. You're not gonna like fault somebody for having a rich parent. It's all about how that parent educates you and how you grow up as a person, like how aware of you are you of your situation. And here's a perfect example that just came to my mind. There's a video where Levi is he's showing his Patagonia jacket and his Prada jacket, and right away he gives the Patagonia price, but for the Prada he's like, if you want the price, just look it up. You know, he's conscious that like just saying the price of that jacket can't. I'm obviously assuming, but like he probably knows that just saying like, yo, this is 10 bands, that can hurt somebody that's like really struggling to eat, and he's like, bro, this guy just, oh, come on. But he's like, if you want to know, just because he's still living his life, enjoying everything, but he's not rubbing it in your face. You know, he was just comparing his jacket. So like that to me might be a tiny like tiny gesture, but it says a lot about the person.
Yeah, it means a lot. What does he say? My bad, bro. Okay, yeah, all right, whatever. My bad. But yeah, so for even going back into the whole like privileged life thing, with Kai and everything, is what he was saying is that, listen, if I could put myself in your shoes and literally learn from what you have to say, you should be able to do the same for me, and I respect that 100%. And then he said also that there's another thing that he said, bro. It's crazy. Anyway, if I think about it, I'll keep on mentioning it. But yeah, that was like.
But yeah, and to me, it's also like it's important for like people to realize that people of wealth like that, they're not like in the same world that we live in.
No,
like,
really not.
So it kind of like it's kind of almost assumed in a way that like they're not gonna see the world the same that you see the world. Like there's always like comments like, bro, you're spending $150 on some socks, blah blah blah. But it's like, you don't get it. Like, just here's an exercise that people should do, right? Look at the price of your car, then look at the price of your t-shirt, then extrapolate. Look at the price of Kai's car, look at the price of his t-shirt. Then bitches match, just like your match. All right, so that's what people need to put into their heads. Like, yes, it's expensive for you as a t-shirt, but for him and other people like that, it just fits the rest of his financial and fiscal lifestyle. That's all it is.
That's like so well said.
Because it's like, yeah, like you don't understand. Like, look at his watch, look at his car, look, like it is a totally different life. Like, you don't see money the same. So like, of course they're gonna have fun with like Louis and Off-White. It is fun money for them. It's like, I get it. Trust me, for 99% of the world, it's like you have to work a full year to treat yourself to one nice item maybe. That sucks, and I understand that. But you cannot impose that state of mind to them, because they never have to be like, now they don't have to be there, you know. So it's like, it's totally normal for them to be kind of nonchalant with it, because I feel like that's what a lot of people dislike. It's how when people of wealth, they kind of like, they don't like flaunt it, but they're like non-caring about what they have. Oh, I'm beating off my Off-Whites, or I'm wearing this at the beach, or whatever it is. But again, it's all about, for them, it is completely not out of their realm of normal, you know?
Right.
It's like, again, have you guys looked at house listings? Like, if they can buy the houses they can buy, and like all the other stuff is jokes. Like
people should have understood based on Kai's first house tour that like
that
what they're dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different level, and the fact that I got back what I wanted to say about what Kai was saying about his dad. He said that he was able to provide so much for his family, from the point of buying Value Village garments for us to go to school, all the way to getting helping us with some of these cars, or helping us with these houses and stuff like that. Like, he was able to help us along that whole step of the way. If I'm able to work my ass off enough so that I'm able to put all of my financial earnings into my next life, into my upbringing, for
invest into the next
generation for my son, I would gladly do that, because I wouldn't want to grow up the way I did. I want it only better for it. So like, imagine like, if Kai is considered privileged, what your idea of what Kai's son is going to be is going to be like, oh my God, this kid is going to be a spoiled brat. But like, you're just doing all you can to make sure that he has the best life possible.
Because that's like, what else are you supposed to do? Are you not supposed to spoil your kid when you have a ton of money?
Yeah.
Like, what else are you supposed? Like, if it's not going towards your family, then who? Like, it makes absolutely no sense to
I'd
me.
want
like,
the best for anyone that is the spawn of me. You know what I mean? Like, or like that I care enough for.
yeah, as
you know
much
what I
as
mean?
you can give them, you give them.
Right,
You
that,
know,
that kid's a part of you. You know what I mean? Like, you want him to flourish as much as you have, and then some.
yeah.
Even more.
It's all about perspective. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's important to understand that yes, they are totally fiscally in a different bracket, but they're still human. Everybody, you know, they close their eyes and they go to sleep at night alone with themselves, just like everybody else, you know.
True.
So I don't know, and obviously I don't want to like sound off as like you know, like sympathetic to the rich or whatever. Like, it's not like a super priority of mine or whatever, but what's important is to never, just as much, again, like I said, you're not going to treat somebody different if they're poorer than you. Try not to treat somebody different if they're richer than you, you know. If they don't show any signs of classism, obviously, you know, because if they're looking up like at you, like looking down at you like you're like less than them, then obviously we have a lot of problems. But again, back to Levi and Kai, I've never felt that from them in any way, shape, or form, you know.
No.
Only respect. They seem like super well educated kids, basically. Well, adults, like, you know, but just, you know, just people having fun, you know. Like, I've never seen them do something that I was like, bro, I would never do that. That's too wild. Like, no, but they're literally like living their best life, you know.
Literally.
So yeah. I feel like this is kind of a good time to cut it off. We've been going for a while, and I want to get you back on again, so we have plenty of stuff to talk about.
Wrap things up, you know what I'm saying?
So, Justice, where can people find you?
At Treasuryboy J on Instagram.
At Shooterboy J. And Kyron?
Okay, got the list, the rundown. Okay, my YouTube is my name, which is Kyron Warwick. My Instagram is GOTSWEIGE. Got Swage. Photography account, Shot by War, and that's about it. Twitter, fuck Yaron. Shout out Meg's foot. I told her I would give her a shout out.
You can find me at Ramza Shootle. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Kyron. Thank you, Justice, for being here.
Gotcha.
We're out. Peace.
Man.